Hey everybody, this is Doa, and I thought I would do something a little bit different today. I've been playing a lot of One Piece. I've actually been casting a lot of One Piece, done some nationals, done some worlds, but I wanted to just review some of my own gameplay from one of my own locals and kind of find places to improve, right? I mean, I'm not the world's greatest One Piece player. There's no secret there. I think I know the game fairly well on a basic level. I have that broad knowledge that you kind of need for casting, at least on more of the play-by-play side of things. But I want to become a better player. So first of all, maybe playing aggro Vegapunk isn't the way to do that. Playing Vegapunk, I will say, kind of distorts your view of the game in general, especially because your leader can't attack. So I'll get into weird situations where I'll just forget that their leader can attack and stuff. So Vegapunk does weird things for your brain. But I wanted to take the oh look, gold Luffy Don. Ooh, I already traded that away. It's I would rather have cards than gold Don. But anyway, I decided I would take the Aggro Punk Vega, the Aggro Punk. That's a pretty good name for the deck. The Aggro Vegapunk list that won a Treasure Cup recently, and give it a spin. I've been playing the control version that's been doing well in Japan for a while, and so I thought, hey, why not? I like aggro. I'm just going to give it a shot. We're going up against a Boa Hancock here, as you can see. Played the buggy first turn, and then I've got my Searcher as well. I always have to clarify that I do not possess the world's biggest brain or greatest mind. Here's my 5 Searchers. I tried to... So Eggman did a really good guide on this deck with the player that played it, actually, whose name sadly is escaping me right now, but they're great. And I tried to kind of emulate what they suggested to do in this, because you play this deck very differently than you would play the other Vegapunk deck here. I decided to go with the stage for the Searcher, just because then you essentially kind of get a leader swing, right? You can swing with a 6k, you get a 6k leader swing essentially, and then if you play the Egghead stage and you stay 3 or less life, you can restand it, so it's hard for them to remove whatever you've swung with. So it kind of makes up for the fact that you don't have a leader swing, but we'll see how I do in this one, because I think my Don management in general is not good, and so playing an aggro deck, I think, is one of the ways, in my opinion, to enforce good Dawn management, because you really can't afford to screw up your big attacking turns. If you screw up your big attacking turn, you generally lose the game, in my experience. He swings with Boa. I take it off life. It's Iroquois, our assistants, which is a nice card to put right back in life here. I would have rather not lost a life at that point, but you just kind of accept it, and with the aggro list, again, you stay at a lower life total anyway than with the control list. You tend to stack life a little bit more with that side of the Vegapunk. I've played that list a good amount. I like it a lot. But we're using a lot of cards here that we don't use in the more control-y one, like Pythagoras. So anyway, there's the stage. Again, the stage is really great. You just get kind of a free swing, and if you get a 6k out turn 1, that's nice. He plays the Dofi blocker, I believe that is, over there. I played these games a few days ago, so... or not a few days ago, even like almost like a week ago, I guess. So trying to remember everything. And I'm still drinking my morning coffee, so I'm still waking up, right? All right, so 2 on the stage. I've got 1 that I can use for Vegapunk, and here's where I think I start to play poorly, where I'm very tempted to just kind of like attack, and I can with the stage, but I'm like, well, I'll just put 7 on it and go in. Yeah, get him to use his blocker. Like, then I don't have to pop Luffy to do it, you know, if I go to life or whatever. Because that would be a tempting thing to do. If he lets it go to life, then I pop Luffy, you know, kill the blocker, draw a card, use Vegapunk to play something else then. And it's funny, a lot of players just are not familiar with these cards yet, so we had to take a look at everything. I'm calling this series, by the way, if it even becomes a series. I don't even know if it's going to become a series, but I'm calling it Local Legends. So, because I'm getting these games at locals. By the way, the original footage for this was really wobbly, and I used the Adobe Premiere image stabilization, and it's doing a fine job. I mean, you might notice a little bit of warping here and there, but overall, like, it's a little bit less crisp, but man, the stabilization is good in that software. I'm impressed here. So anyway, Jinbei into Law is what he's going to go here too. So nice, a little bit of a board establishment. It feels, and I gotta say, like, you know, a lot of people don't have Vegapunk experience. I don't have a lot of Boa experience. You know, I know she draws cards. She seems to play some similar lines to Dofi, just less aggressively. Has more of a top end, it feels like. But honestly, I don't know this deck that well. So going up to, I believe, my 5 Don turn. I've got the Pythagoras out as well. I found it was difficult to get Pythagoras to die to bring things back, and he only brings back a 4-cost or less. So you're really looking to bring back like your Lilith, stuff like that. Your Jewelry Bonnies in here. By the way, when I played these games, I only had 2 out of my 4 Jewelry Bonnies that I needed for this list. I now have 3 out of 4, so I'm getting closer. I don't have all the cards though. Still need that last OP08 Jewelry Bonnie SR. But I gotta say, the Vegapunk lists are so much fun to pilot. I really have a lot of fun with it. But it does distort your view of the game for sure. So yeah, let's just go 6 to life. And the plan is, of course, to swing in and then see what they do. He's gonna counter. I'll probably pop Luffy to kill one of these, probably the Jinbei or something. I don't know what I killed here. Yeah, take out the Jinbei. And I'm not sure if I looking back on that, like, I feel like it's good to sort of control the board, but what do I have to replace this? It's a little bit awkward being going first here, being at 5 Dawn, because I can't play a 5-cost and use the leader ability to establish more or put something in life. I attack with Pythagoras too, and I don't, right there, I don't know if that was a good idea, right? Because I gave him another card. I didn't really, sure, I took 1 off of life, whatever, but I don't really have anything to bring back if Pythagoras dies. And then I play the Rush Ace, just trying to put on the pressure, I guess. But yeah, already I'm not a big fan of these plays looking back on it. I don't know. He counters out of it, right? So at least I'm getting cards out of his hand. But I've left myself in a very vulnerable position. And I feel very compelled to put something into life here. Okay, so... Oh, okay, so I forgot. I've been trying to show my hand here the whole time, but I don't know if I do a great job of it the entire game. But I played Rayquaza Assistance into life. That lets me bring back a 5-cost or less from my trash. So the idea there is that, he kills... well, no, it doesn't even work. What am I doing? Because, like, if he kills Ace, I can't bring that back. And he can just attack life before he does anything else. I can bring the Luffy back at least, which I think is the plan. I've got the Luffy in there. Limited targets for the Rayquaza, but still. And I stand the Pythagoras because that's the only target. The Rush Ace from the starter isn't Egghead, so. He's going to go to... Is he going to life with this? Looks like it. No Dawn under the law, so I would imagine he's going to life. Just going 5 to life. I'm like, do I actually want to counter this maybe? Because if I do, and then he Rayquazars, then I have another target to bring back. So I put the S-Snake in there. Yeah. Which, S-Snake is a card that I don't use in the control list. There was a control list out of Japan that, like, I forget what, like top 4, top 8 at a big tournament or something. And that's when I've been playing. And that list feels really good because you can be aggressive, but you can also just play a long game too. Where this list is like, you have to be aggressive. You can see we're playing Atlas. Like, Atlas is our best turn 1 play. Because you can just swing, and she's hard to remove if you have low life. Because she can't be KO'd in battle. If you have, I think, 2 or less or 3 or less. Can't remember the exact number with that one. But yeah, S-Snake would be nice to sort of shut down one of their bigger attackers later. She makes it so something can't attack. There I do the Rayquaza. I would imagine I bring back the Luffy here. I should. Oh, did I really bring back the S-Snake? And then I made it so the law can't attack. Why would I not bring back the Luffy and just be able to kill something again? What was my plan here? See, this is why I wanted to go through these and watch these games, because I know these games are just filled with errors. This was actually the first time I had played this deck. So, so I know that I'm not playing it very well yet. All right, so he bounces the... ace back to my hand, which is kind of interesting. I'm still sitting at 1 life, which is pretty common with the Aggro Vegapunk list, from what I understand. Maybe I played the S-Snake because I've got another Rocket Luffy in my hand, but, like, why not just have 2 Rocket Luffys? And so I'm on 7 Dawn here. And so we're going to go with the Lilith, because I'm really looking for my like, Shakas and stuff, I think, at this point. Set up some protection. You get so much searching in this deck, which is great because you kind of need it. There's a Shaka. There's a Nami though too, but I can't remove his 6-cost. He's Jozu. Yeah, grab the Shaka. All right. And so, what do I have left? 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my 9 Dawn turn, I think, maybe. Yeah. So with 6 is a good number to be at. You can just play a 5 and then play a 1, but it looks like I'm going for a second Lilith for another search. Okay. So just trying to build the board, and right now I'm kind of thinking, all right, I have the opportunity to just put down a lot of 5Ks, put down 2 5Ks, maybe establish something else, put something in life probably. Grab the Nami. Okay. Interesting. And then I'm starting to think about trying to end the game, you know, because he's got 4 life remaining. I don't believe he has the greatest hand size at this point. And I can keep swinging with Pythagoras or S-Snake and then just restand them at the end of my turn with the Egghead stage. I'm playing these games so bad, by the way. All right, 7 to life with S-Snake. And then I have to use the 1 Dawn for establishing something. Probably put the Shaka in life, right? Yeah? Yeah, put the Shaka in life. Because you kind of get the double block out of it. And then restand the S-Snake. Okay. Yep, so down to 3 life. And so now, because remember, I still have the Rush Ace in my hand here too. So if he doesn't remove anything, I have the potential to attack for 5 attacks next turn. Just load up, you know, 5 Dawn across the board and then the 5 Dawn for the 7K Ace. So what does he have here? The one thing that I'm terrified of is like Gravity Blade bouncing 2 things, or bottom decking 2 things, I think it is. Yeah. I hate when Dofis do that to me. I did this, by the way, the Egghead lists, both this one and the control list, both feel pretty good into Dofi. It's going to go to life, play the Shaka. And the reason is you get to take up between the Rocket Luffy and the Namis, you're getting to remove a lot of their stuff and establish your board at the same time, or at least keep refilling your hand with the Nami and the Rocket Luffy. So they have a hard time catching up, especially if they're the type of Dofi list, which most are, that don't run the top end stuff anymore. You just have to watch out for the, I'm pretty sure it's Gravity Blade, the 7 cost one that messes with things. So he's going, what? 8 to life then? And I think I probably just take it, right? I mean, I think I've already decided to take it. I'm just figuring it out. No, I block it. Oh, interesting. Okay. I was not comfortable going down to 0 life there. So I just put 4 1Ks. I could not for the life of me draw any of my 2Ks this game. I remember that now. Like no Edison, no Frankie. So I just decided to big block that out. Which, if I can potentially, I got to get that down back. I can potentially win it this turn. Maybe. Because he's got 3 life, I believe, at the moment. Now I've got 4 on board. Plus I've got the Rush Ace. So here's where... So you see me counting up my Dawn a ton. Like, I've never been good at anything numbers related. And One Piece is such a numbers game that these are the turns where I always kind of really struggle. So I kind of just poke with the Lilith, I guess, here. See what happens. I'm not sure how many cards in hand he has at the moment. I would guess maybe like probably not a ton. Like I said, I played these games like a week ago, so I'm kind of I liked kind of waiting, you know. Oh, so then 7K. So if I go 5K and then 7K, so I have 8 Dawn left. So then I can go spend 3 of it theoretically, so I can go like, oh, I can go like 7, 7, then 8 with Ace as a surprise. I think that might be the plan. Yeah, 7 with S-Snake now. This is probably not a good idea to go for game right here. This, I think, okay, so he counters that. So now I do not have enough attacks to win, so yeah. Do I attack the Jozu here? We're going to go 7 to what? Oh, 7 to... I'm not sure if that was to Jozu life. Probably life, because I didn't point at the card on board. And then we're going to go... Oh, okay, I just went, yes, 7 and then 5 for Ace, and then I have 1 to stack a card in life. Okay. And where he only has 1 on board, And okay, so now I kind of remember what I was thinking. I was thinking to myself, all right, I'm going to go in for a big attack now because there's a chance he can just bottom deck a couple of them or bounce a couple of them next turn anyway. So let's just go for it. I can get back to a comfortable 2 life. And then I, can he only has 1 on board, so I'm pretty confident I'm going to have enough attacks the next turn. I don't know if that's the right decision, but I think that's what my mindset was. So yeah, he's going to go in and take out the Lilith and the Ace, because I don't even know if I have any cards in hand right now. Okay, and there's the Kaido. A card that I forgot existed until this moment. Because, like, man, I haven't played against Boa for, I don't even know if I've ever played against a Boa, so I'm not 100% sure what's in their list. So, he surprised me with that one. But I have 1 on the board yet as he passes turn. I still have comfortable life. So I feel like I'm in a decent position to set things up here. Drawing another Shaka is always great, too. You love to see the Shakas. And I've got a Lilith, actually. So, let's see. Lilith, and then if you Lilith, you still have enough to play a 5 cost and use a Vegapunk leader ability to put something in life or put something on the board. So I can kind of get a board again. Oh, I'm going to S-Snake and then shut down the Kaido, I guess. Oh, no, the Jozu. I don't think you can target the Kaido, actually. I think it's like a 6 or less, or 8 or less or something like that. No, it's a 6 or less with S-Snake. I've got my deck in front of me. I should just grab that. I don't know why I'm forgetting all this. It's because I don't play with S-Snake normally. It's because it's the... because I usually play the control list. Yeah, it's 6 or less, right? Okay, so I have to do that, yep. So he just puts it off to the side. Okay, and then 7 to life. He's going to counter. He's running out of cards real fast here. That's a good thing. So I wait to see what I get. Egghead doesn't really have any rushers in Egghead, right? You can put the Ace in there for the Aggro list. Oh, another Shaka. Beautiful. So now I can play a Shaka and then use leader ability to get another Shaka out there. Probably just play it in life, yeah. And then, okay. Oh, never mind. That's a turn, right? Because I played the S-Snake, right? Because I didn't want to face more attacks here. So this is kind of an interesting thing with the game is that you can kind of slow it down a little bit like this. I don't know if that's wise now that he can play the big stuff and I don't have big stuff to play. Like, what would have been my alternative here? I think back to earlier in the game when I grabbed the S-Snake instead of the Rocket Luffy out of trash, and I could have used the Rocket Luffy to kill the Law that was on board. I might have been able to keep more stuff, and I might have been able to end the game sooner. Because I think you always want to try to go as far back in the game as possible and look to where things might have gone wrong. So, Shaka blocker. All right. And what'll it be? I know I've got the Kaido hit coming in, but that's okay. I really don't mind that. Yeah, I'll just establish another Pythagoras. And that's one of the things about this deck is that you just... You let them hit your life to establish a board. And so now I feel very confident at this point. He's got 4 Dawn remaining, but... Yeah, like he's got, what, 4 cards in hand it looks like? I'm feeling pretty good about winning this one right now. I think. And like that was the main reason to put the Pythagoras in life, is that you just put something out there that's going to be a 6K body. And so here's me trying to count my Dawn out. And like I should be able to do these turns faster. I'm always embarrassed when I'm like trying to figure out what the proper math would be, and I probably get it wrong anyway. Like these turns where you have to figure out how to like math win or whatever, I am awful at these turns. So, but it didn't really matter. I've got like so much anyway. Yeah, and oh, okay. So he does pop the trigger either way, but I've got one left. So yeah, that's it. All right. So I won that game. It was kind of messy, but it was fun. You get to see a little bit of how the Vegapunk list works, and we've got one more game to take a look at. So let's do that. Here we are, game number 2, and I think this was actually the first game of the night, so we're kind of going in reverse order, but whatever, it's fine. It's the main event. It's Aggro Vegapunk versus Dofi, the menace, right? The blue Dofi list that everybody's talking about right now, and it is a good list, and it looks like a lot of fun, but as we look at my opening hand here, I get the Egghead stage, which is nice. I get a Luffy, which is nice. So get to establish a 6K on turn 1. Stage on turn 2. I think that's kind of the start you want with that deck. But yeah, I mean, Dofi, like, I have the deck. I have not built it, but I have the cards. But the fact that it's so popular, it turns me off of wanting to play it. I'm kind of that type of card game player where ooh, gold Doofy Don. But I am the type of player that I don't want to play the meta thing. Like, I didn't play Rob Lucci. You know, I don't want to play, I played a little bit of Sakazuki for the purpose of learning it for casting, and I am going to play some Dofi because of that, but I don't want to be like a Dofi main or something, you know, even though it seems like the deck really is kind of like my style of deck. I gotta be not like the other gamers, you know. So that's what we're playing, Vegapunk Aggro, for better or for worse. But getting to put a Rocket Luffy down on turn number 1 is great. Looks like he's going to throw down the SR Boa here, from what I can see, and this guy is a known no playmat gamer, which I don't understand. I love playmats and all that, but some people out there, they just like to live dangerously, you know, go no playmat. So there you go. Shocking, right? But a very good player. And what do we got next? I think I got to go stage here. It looks like I did go first this game, which I don't think going first with Aggro Vegapunk is that bad, really, because then you can, you know, do things like this, right, where you establish your 6K on turn 1. You can swing with it on turn 2, play your stage so that you can restand it at the end and still have a Don left over to Vegapunk ability to either play something on board or establish something in life. So, yep, going 6K to life. He's going to take it. And then I get to play the stage. And, oh yeah, it was just some searching going on first turn too. I think he was finding the boa. I wasn't paying attention. There you go. And Vegapunk. What do I do? Do I put it in life? I can put it in life. Yeah, I think putting the Nico Robin in life is fine too. So these Nico Robins should be jewelry Bonnies, by the way. I only had 2 out of the 4 Bonnies, so the logical thing to put in as a filler is Robin because she draws you 2 cards when she comes out of life, which is nice. And the jewelry Bonnie is there basically for a little bit of drawing and filtering in the deck. So I felt like it was a good temporary replacement. But yeah, I got the Nami, got the Lilith, and what was that? One more Rocket Luffy in the hand? I didn't quite see. Either way, feeling like this is a pretty good start. And I feel like I oftentimes have good starts in games of One Piece, and I think that's kind of like by design. I don't know. There's something about the game where I feel like I always have a good start, and then I finish very poorly. And it goes back to what I was talking about in game number 1. I think my Dawn management is not good. So we're triggering Nico Robin, getting to draw 2 cards, which is just huge. And then on to the next turn. Yeah, up to 5 Dawn this time around. We've got the Shaka and Frankie were the draw. Okay, we've got the starter Lin Lin, which is really fun to play in the list. But at 5 Dawn, it is a little bit awkward. I could play the Lilith here. Play the Lilith, swing, and then put something in life, maybe. Shaka in life. I could search, too, with one of those Dawn. What do I end up doing here? Let's see. Because I can also play the Nami and just get rid of the Gecko Moria that he played last turn when he did the Dofi attack. That's also possible. And this was my very first game with the deck, actually, I should say. So it's taking me a little bit longer to decide. And I hate being the guy that's like, I'm taking too long to do my turn. Like, I hate being that person. But when you're learning a deck, like, people are understanding. Just you know, take the time you need to play the turn you feel like you should play. It's okay. Don't feel the need to rush yourself. So I do take out the Moria with the Nami, discarding the Frankie to do so. I do not have less than 3 cards in hand, though, because what I should have done is I probably should have searched first. I should have searched, played the Lilith, and or there was an ordering I could have done that where I could have drawn off the Nami because I would have had 3 or less cards in hand. So that was a little error right there. And I say little error, but that could be a major error because you never know what you could have drawn. It could have been game-changing. So Lilith will find me the Rocket Luffy. And I have 1 Dawn left over. Very awkwardly to maybe swing 7k with Luffy, probably. Yeah. All right, 7k at life with Luffy. And, yep, they'll take that. So down to 3 life there, and then I get to restand him with the stage. And so feeling pretty good so far. We've taken 2 life. We've gotten, 2 5Ks into 6K on the board. He's like, wow, does it really just do that? Just lets you restand a character? I'm like, yeah, it is. It is that good. It is that good. So now where do we go here? But I'm bothered by the fact that I could have gotten another card from the Nami if I recall correctly. Because, yeah, I think now that I look back on that, although if I had searched, I would have just replaced the card anyway. So let's see. So if I search and then I put something in life, or I search, then play Lilith. Yeah, I guess if I play the Lilith, I'm still drawing something anyway. So maybe I couldn't have actually gotten something from the Nami. Maybe I couldn't have, but I feel like maybe there was a little way that I could have snuck that in there. Playing the Lilith into life instead of playing her on the board, I think would have worked. I think that would have been fine too, but I wanted to put the pressure on, so I played her on board here. Dofi to life. What does he get? Finds the Jinbei, which is what every Dofi wants to find. Then he gets to play something else. And what is it? Oh, it's a Shaka. Nice. Okay. That's great. One of the best triggers you can flip. All right, so there's a Law. He's going to bounce the Jinbei, and he's going to bounce the Lilith back to my hand. All right. Yeah. Again, it's like, well, do you just get to play that 6k blocker? And it's like, yep, you do. Yep. You start with 2 life, but you really get a lot of really great individually strong cards. And that's I think what I love the most about playing Vegapunk is you start with very low health. You feel like you're kind of riding that edge right from the beginning, but you get to play a lot of individually very strong cards. Every card in Vegapunk just feels good to play. It's just a good feeling archetype. I don't know if I like the aggro list better than the control list, or the more, I say control, but, it can be more flexible, I think after playing a few nights with the aggro list, I'm kind of leaning back towards the other list, honestly, despite being mostly an aggro player. I'm going to attack with the Shaka here. So my plan must be to restand the Shaka then. And then I would imagine I'm going to attack with Luffy and then activate main to take out something. Take out the Law or something. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of attacking with the Nami there, because now she's just kind of vulnerable. All right. So we do a little bit more. He counters. We'll play the Lin now. I'm at 7 Dawn. So now he has to either discard 2 or trash run from the top of his life. I have to discard a card from my hand to get that ability. This is the new SR Lin that came in the yellow starter deck. The new yellow starter deck. And it seems like it fits in pretty well in this deck. It is kind of a bomb to drop on them, but I think a lot of this deck success is just from people not, being familiar with what's in it. I tend to think that the Japan list, the one that can be played in a more control fashion, I feel like is probably the stronger list. Huh? And I didn't activate Luffy to kill one of his 4 costs. Huh? That I'm a little bit surprised by that. Like I said, this is the first game I played with it, so I think I probably just forgot, or else. Either I forgot or I was thinking, well, I've got 4 characters out. Maybe I can just go for game next turn. But now I've got 2 characters that are vulnerable that he's going to, go after. I should have just sacked the Luffy and drawn a card and killed something. I think that definitely would have been a better play. And again, that's why we're doing this. Watching the games, trying to figure out where all my errors were. Because I'm sure there are many. I got to say, like, One Piece is a much more difficult game than I thought it was originally. And it doesn't really come from the card text. It comes from mostly Dawn management and mostly decision making around attacking versus what your opponent has. I think the game is more complex than I gave it credit for initially when I started playing, and I think a lot of other people give it credit for. It's a hard game. It's a hard game to be good at. At least for me, who when I think about numbers, they just sort of swim around in my vision in front of me, and they never line up in a way where I can really plan well with them. Yeah, numbers and me, we've never really gotten along. I've tried. No bad blood from my side. I like math. I like numbers, but they don't like me. So I'm going to attack with the Shaka here. Or maybe, no, it's blocker. All right, I'm going to let the Nami go instead, yeah. Yep. Because at first I was like blocking, and I was like, oh, wait, that's 6k. Yeah, I don't want to lose the Shaka right now, so we'll lose the Nami. All right, and then 7 to Luffy would make sense. Yeah, okay. There's not much I can do about it. I should not have attacked with both of those. Or at least I should have used the Luffy ability to get rid of the law or something. Like getting rid of the law would have changed this turn completely, right? Yeah. I think that last turn when I attacked quite a bit was where my errors were. And so I have to end up giving up the Shaka to try to protect the Luffy just so I can use the activate main and defeat him next turn anyway. Or, you know, I'm using Star Wars Unlimited terminology now, but to, you know, destroy the Luffy. Plays another Jinbei. Yeah, like, I don't like that at all. Weevil for the card draw there. So, yeah, that last turn. I think that last turn is going to go down as one of the turns that really put me behind here. Because he was able to capitalize on that so much on his turn. He really played it out well, too. Like I said, this is a good player. I think it takes a lot of swagger and a lot of confidence to play with no playmat. You got to back it up with good gameplay. and he does that. He definitely does. Let's see. So I've got a Searcher, I've got a Rocket Luffy, and I've got an Atlas in my hand. And the Atlas, it feels good on turn 1, but it doesn't feel that good at other times in the game. Even though, you know, not being able to be KO'd by battle is nice, but it just takes like a turn to establish it because it doesn't have rush and all that, of course. So yeah, I think this deck excels at surprising people, and it can go very fast. And I think it's obviously a better deck than I'm showing because I'm not playing it as well as other people would play it, especially the player that won that Treasure Cup with it. But I'm not convinced that this is a better form of Vegapunk than the more flexible, higher top end where you run the 4 Katakuris or 4 Yamatos, or Yamato, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Yeah, we're going to search. I think I need to find something. You know, maybe another Shaka would be good or something. Yeah, there's Shaka. There's also a Nami. Nami would be a little bit rough here because I can't... I really don't have a ton of cards to discard with Trigger. I guess I could use the Atlas. Now that I look at this, I kind of like the idea of grabbing the Nami and then playing her and getting rid of the Atlas. That said, having 2 Shakas is always really good, but he's got such a big board, it's probably just going to burn through anyway. What do I choose here? I actually don't remember. What is it going to be? My vote right now, if I was making this choice right now, would be the Nami. But I think do I pick the Shaka or the Nami? I picked the Shaka. Okay. I think I was a little bit dizzy at this point in the game. And I was like, oh no, I just lost so much ground. How do I gain it back again? I'm feeling defensive. So I grabbed the Shaka. But I think the better play probably would have been to grab the Nami. So now we can look at this and say, okay, there's 2 units. I've been playing on Star Wars Unlimited. Which is a great game, by the way. You should all play it. I could have removed 2 characters now. I could have removed a character with the Luffy activation earlier in the game, and I could have removed another character with the Nami that I just passed over instead of draw. So I I could have a much smaller board to deal with. I could also have a living Nami on my side because I didn't have to attack with it. So you can see really if this had been played out better, I could have really, depending on what's in their hand, they might have played their hands out differently, obviously, if I had done different things. But I think I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I could have had their board much more under control and had a much bigger, more threatening board on my side if I had played out some of those earlier turns differently. I feel like I'm definitely seeing that right now. So I only have the Linen at this point. Use the Luffy to get rid of the Boa. And I think something else. I was looking at my own hand. All right. What do we got? Yeah, we're going to play the Rocket Luffy. And we get Vegapunk ability to put another Shaka into life. Okay. So that is kind of an imposing wall to overcome. Because you hit life, Shaka triggers into a blocker. You get to get another block out of it. So you almost get like 2 life out of 1 Shaka in life, I love the mental damage that the Vegapunk lists do against your opponent too, when they like look at your life and they're like, man, I have to attack into that. Oh, jeez. It is fun. I was going to go back to the control list, but because I do enjoy that too, but now that I see so many ways I could have played these games better, I feel like now I'm obligated to keep playing the aggro list until I get good enough with it. All right, so he's going to play the, looks like a Law there. Bounce my Shaka. Yeah, and that's a thing that can happen with Dofi, right? Oh, no, because, here's a question I had. And I think I was right with this, where when does the trigger happen in relation to Law coming off the top from the Dofi ability and being played? Because he attacks with Dofi. The Dofi ability happens, right? So I believe the Law would come out sooner, and then then the trigger would possibly happen. Oh, I accidentally grabbed the wrong card from hand. I was like, oh, that's not the right one. There we go. So and he, I think he, what do we end up deciding? I kind of deferred to his judgment because he's the more experienced player here. So let's see. What did we end up deciding? Oh, wait. The Law can only bounce a 4 cost or less anyway, right? So you can't even bounce anything. Never mind. But I am curious about the ordering of things. Like I said, I have the Dofi deck. I have the cards, but I haven't built it yet. Oh, but he's going to hit me with the Gravity Blade. Rough. Bottom deck those two. Attack in. Shaka pops out of life. And, all right, so I don't actually have the worst board here, but I'm definitely behind. I'm going to take that last trigger as another Shaka. That's right. I forgot. He was like, oh. So now I'm kind of feeling like he's all tapped out. I think he's got a good amount of cards in hand here, but I kind of just need to go for it probably. Yeah, counting the Dawn, because it's like, all right, I'm just dead next turn if I don't just go for it. I'm going to see if I can find that Law card. Oh, let's see. Do I have that sitting right here? Where is it? Let's see. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't have it sitting here. Never mind. I don't. All right. What'd I miss? Yeah, he took his 2 life. And, do I have, let's see, what was it? What'd I go? 9, 9, and then 10 here? Did I chicken out? Because he's got a lot of cards in hand, if I remember right. No, we just go for it. All right, yeah, 10 with Lin Lin, and I think he just blocks. I think he just counters out here. Because he had a lot of cards in hand, but I had to just go for it. Yeah. and that's it. I'm like, all right, well, I'm dead. GG. Yeah, so okay, so I think that was definitely a winnable game if I had played out some of those earlier turns better. I think you can see here how the Vegapunk list does pretty well into the new Dofi list, and that's the end of the video, I guess. But I need to just play it better. So, but that's the point of this. So yeah, I feel like I learned a little bit about what I need to change going to my next local night. Hopefully you got some insight into the Vegapunk list as well. And if you have any comments, leave them below. Things I could have done better. I'm happy to learn. This whole series is going to be about how can I get better as a player. So happy to hear your input too. So anyway, thanks for watching, and see you next time.